Rich versus poor mindset. Which one are you? A few years ago, in 1997, Robert Kiyosaki wrote a book. You may be surprised to know that from the day this book was published, it became a bestseller. Robert Kiyosaki had two father figures in his life. He referred to his biological father as his poor dad, and his friend Mike's father as his rich dad. Robert's real father was highly educated and a hardworking man who worked as a college professor. However, despite being a professor, Robert's real father was financially weak. Due to his father's financial struggles, Robert always lacked money, which is why he called him poor dad. On the other hand, his friend's father, whom Robert only called dad out of respect, was not as educated but was financially much stronger. In fact, Mike's father was one of the wealthiest people in the city, which led Robert to call him rich dad. In this book, Robert Kiyosaki shares that when he was just 9 years old, he noticed how other students and their wealthy fathers lived. This sparked a desire in him to become rich as well. One day, when Robert was sitting with his real father, he asked him how people become wealthy. However, his real father, the poor dad, did not have an answer to this question. Instead, he suggested that Robert ask his friend Mike's father, who could likely give him the best answer. Hearing this, Robert approached his rich dad with the same question. Though Robert mentions that he valued the knowledge of both his poor dad and rich dad, their opinions on becoming wealthy were completely different. Poor dad believed that working hard in school and securing a good job was the way to become wealthy, while rich dad emphasized learning the secrets of wealth. Rich dad would often say, "I don't work for money. Money works for me." At just 9 years old, Robert decided to follow the advice of his rich dad and began his journey of financial education. Robert started studying finance, and rich dad taught him important lessons about becoming wealthy, lessons rich dad had applied in his own life. The first key lesson was that wealthy people never work for money. Most people spend their lives going to good colleges, seeking good jobs, and using their salary to pay for their home and car loans. This, according to Robert, is what he refers to as the rat race in his book. It's a trap from which it becomes impossible to escape, as middle-class people fail to realize that while they work hard, someone else is taking the rewards of their labor. Eventually, when they do understand this, it is often too late, as they are trapped by the fear of not being able to repay their home or car loans. They continue to chase after the rat race, and this cycle consumes their lives. Rich dad said that those who always play it safe, who are afraid to take risks, are never taught by those around them to embrace risk. Middle-class people often fear that if they take a risk with money and lose it, they will end up worse off. If they invest somewhere and the investment fails, they wonder what will happen. This fear of money keeps them from becoming wealthy. Now, you might wonder, if not working for money, then what should you do? The answer is that wealthy people don't work for money, they do things that make money work for them. It's said that money attracts money, and you must find ways to make your money work for you. In the next point, you'll learn how wealthy people do this. Lesson number 2, financial education is very important. Rich dad taught Robert Kiyosaki that understanding money is crucial. Most people never realize that it's not about how much money you earn but about how much you save from what you earn. You've heard stories of people who win the lottery and suddenly become rich, but after a few years, they are poor again. These people may win millions but still return to where they started because they lack financial knowledge. They don't know how to manage or invest their money. Some businessmen take out loans from banks but go bankrupt because they failed to repay the loans on time. Robert Kiyosaki recalls going to Chicago for a business meeting where he met some of the world's top businessmen and investors. He spoke with them, but 25 years later, he learned from a report that many of those same businessmen had ended up in jail, died, or lost their wealth. The reason behind this was market crashes and financial downturns, which caused significant losses for these businessmen and investors. From this, we learn how important money is for our security. Robert Kiyosaki says that no matter how much money you earn, if you don't invest it smartly, you will never become wealthy. This is why Rich Dad taught Robert the concept of assets and liabilities to help him understand money. Assets are things that put money into your pocket, meaning they multiply your money over time, whereas liabilities take money out of your pocket. To illustrate this, imagine you rent out a house you own. That house becomes an asset because it brings in rental income every month. On the other hand, if you buy a car or bike with a loan, it becomes a liability because you'll have to pay equated monthly installments every month, and the vehicle's value will depreciate over time. Rich Dad emphasized buying as many assets as possible and accumulating them while reducing liabilities. Rich Dad said that it's not just important to earn money but to know how to grow and maintain the money you earn. In my next video, I'll share more lessons that Rich Dad taught Robert Kiyosaki about becoming wealthy, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and share it. Thanks for watching.